Hey everybody, tonight we're doing section 4.5 on page 183 and 84. We're doing the even numbers, practicing with two-digit divisors. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move my number 2 here over to my graph paper, and I have 21 that goes into 94 and 5/10. I'm going to move my decimal up into my quotient and get rid of that, and I'm done. I can start just going ahead and creating a table of 21 times 1 equals 21. 21 times 2 equals 42. 21 times, oops, I forgot the 1 right there. So right now I'm kind of in a rush wanting to try to get this done for you. So I'm going to slow it down for just a bit so that I can make less mistakes. So it's 21 times 3. 3 times 1 equals 3. 3 times 2 equals 6. 21 times 4 equals 4 times 1 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. All I did is remember and look at, I'm skip counting my 21s. 21 added another group of 21 is 42. Add another group of 21 is 63. Add another group of 21, it's 84. So you can see the patterns on that one. And I'm going to go ahead and create another 21 times 5. 5 times 1 equals 5. It's in the ones. 5 times 2 is 10. So that makes it 105. Then I'm going to stop right there, and I'm coming over to my problem. I have 21, and 21 cannot go into 9, so I'm going to put a 0 above. But 21 can go into 94. And how close can I get to 94 without going over? There you go, 4 groups, because it gets me to 84. So I'm going to place my 4 here. 21 times 4 is already 84, and I'm subtracting that out. 4 minus 4 equals 0. 9 minus 8 equals 1. Remember that our system is to divide, then multiply, then subtract, is what I've done here. I'm checking. Is my difference less than my divisor? Yes, it is. So check. Now I'm going to bring down. This becomes a 5. And then I'm going to start over. And look at what I've already done here. Okay, so 21 times 5, these are going to be my groups, is equal to 105. So here I'm going to place my 5 right above. And I know that 21 times 5 is equal to 105. And I'm subtracting that out. And this is 0, 0, 0. And I'm done. So the answer to this problem is 4 and 5/10. Let's look at problem number 4. Again, this deals with money. I'm going to eliminate my dollar sign for right now and then use it in my quotient. So I can just kind of move that up and know that that'll be there. I'm going to place this on my graph paper. So this is number 4. I have 21. It's going to go into, and it's $13.65. I've already done my groups of 21 over here. So I'm going to use this as my reference. This is like a multiplication chart, guys, but I'm going to use this as my reference. 21 cannot go into 1 because I have to be 21 or greater. 21 cannot go into 13 because it has to be 21 or greater. So that's 0. I'm going to bring in my decimal and get rid of that one. Now it's 136. So I can still keep going, right? So 21. Oh, I did that again, didn't I? In my brain, I'm saying 21. In my actual writing, I'm putting, this won't do. There we go. Finally, So I have 21. I'm only doing 2. So 21 times 6. 6 times 1, and I'm kind of guiding myself, is 6. 6 times 2 equals 12. So this equals 126. I'm pretty close. Could I add another group of 21? We do 21 times 7. 7 times 1 equals 7. 7 times 2 equals 14. Nope, it's going to be way too big. So I'm going to be able to have 6 in each group. Oh, this won't be group. In each group. So there's going to be 6 in each group. So 21 times 6 is equal to 126. I'm subtracting out. Remember, it's my divide, multiply. Now I'm at subtract. 6 minus 6 equals 0. 3 minus 2 equals 1. My 10 is less than my divisor, so I can bring down my 5. Now I can look over here in my pre-made multiplication chart for the 21, and I can see that 21 times 5 equals 105. And then it's 0. So the answer on here is going to be 65 hundredths. But because I'm using money, it actually makes it at 65 cents. So you can write it that way, or okay, which is sometimes the way you see it. All right, let's move over to number 6. Number 6, I have 111 and 8/10 divided by 13. And I just wanted to see if I was going to be far enough down. So it's 11 that goes into, I kind of messed myself up there. That's driving me crazy. I don't know if it'll drive you crazy, but I'm going to move this because it's all these ones. It's kind of confusing. Okay, so I have 11, and this is 111 decimal point 8. So I have my 11, right? 11 cannot go into 1. So I'm using these 2, so I'm going to put a 0, but it can go into 11 how many times? Now this is if you're not sure, you can create yourself a multiplication mini chart. 11 times 1 equals 11. 11 times 2 equals 22. All right, you can do that. So this goes 1 time. 1 times 11 equals 11. Subtract that out. 0, 0. I'm bringing down my 1. 11 cannot go into 1, right? Oh, guys, you know what I messed up on? It's not 11, it's 13. I've got 11 on the brain. I think it's because I'm in the month of 11, and I just wrote that. So I'm going to get rid of this here and actually start. So sorry about that. Did y'all catch that mistake? If you did, let me know tomorrow for a treat. I'm bringing in some different treats. And I'm going to erase this part here and erase that because it's like, what is going on here? I wrote the wrong number. We're having 13 groups. That makes a difference, right? Lucky number 13. That's exactly right. If you can identify that voice, come in and let us know. 13 times 1 equals 13. 13 times 2, I'm doubling my 13. That makes it at 26. Then 13 times 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 1 equals 3. And I'm going to stop right there I think I can keep going. So I'm going to have my 13 groups right here, right? Can it go into 1? No, because it has to be it has to be equal to 13 or greater. Can it go to 11? No, because it has to be equal to 13 or greater. So now I'm going to 100 and 11. I'm going to bring up my decimal here. Okay, and so let's see. I can keep going. 13 times 4. 4 times 3 equals 12. I'm going to regroup. 4 times 1 equals 4 plus 1 equals 5. So that's 52. To double check, I added another group of 13, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3, 4, 5. So it's 52. Remember, you're just adding another group of 13. 13 times 5, or do plus 13 underneath it and keep your repeated addition. 5 times 3 equals 15. Regroup my 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. I can keep going. 13 times 6. 6 times 3 equals 18. Regroup. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So that makes it 78. I can keep going. 13 times 7. 7 times 3 equals 21. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 2 is 9. I can keep going. Then I have 13 times 8 equals 3 times 8 equals 24. Regroup my 2. 8 times 1 equals 8 plus 2 is 10. Oops, I'm getting pretty close. Can I add another group of 13s? I can see not. It's going to be way too big, but let's just double check. 9 times 3 is 27. I regroup my 2. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 2. So it's 9. That's 11. So it's 117. So that's way too much. So I'm going to have 8 groups. And I know that 13 times 8 equals 104. Let me erase this arrow right here. All right, so I can regroup if I want to, but another way of doing it, if I have 104, how many more jumps do I need to do make to get to 111? Okay, well, if I have 6 more jumps, it's 110, and I do 7 jumps or 1 more, that gets me to 11, so it's going to be 7 jumps. 7 plus 4 equals 11. Regroup my 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. And then my 1. So it's going to be 7 jumps to get to there. That's another way of thinking about that. Then I'm doing my subtraction. Now doing my check. Is my difference less than my divisor? Yes, it is. So I'm going to bring down my 8. Do I already have a 78 over here in my mini multiplication chart? I do. I see that there's going to be 6 groups of 13 to equal 8. I mean 78, not just 8, but 78. Sorry about that. So then my answer is 8 6/10. So I'm going to write that right here. Let's look at number 8. And this is where I really wanted you to get a lot of the practice in. Remember, sometimes division can be just lengthy. Not that it's hard, but it's a lot of labor that goes into it. The more practice you do, the easier it may get. It won't make it any shorter, but it makes it faster because you have more practice in. If you do not know your multiplication facts, I truly encourage you right now to start making some writing out your multiplication chart, or to get flashcards and to start flipping those, get a deck of cards, combine those, and write the answers down so that you can start memorizing it. So now I'm going to have 18. So I'm going to put 18 times 1 equals 18. 18 times 2, I'm doubling my 18. That makes it 16. It's 36 because I doubled it up. 18 times 3 equals 3 times 8 is 24. I regroup my 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. 18 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus my 3, regroup my 3. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. And 18 times 5 equals 5 times 8 equals 40. Regroup my 4. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9. And I'm going to stop right there just to see if I'm going to need any more. So now I have 18. Can 18 go into 3? No, because it has to be equal to 18 or greater, so that's 0. How many groups, or how many, I have 18 groups. How many of the 34 can go into these 18 groups? I see that it's going to be 2. Oh, no, it's going to be 1. Because look, it's 36. I only have 34. This is too big. So I'm only going to put 1 in each group. Subtract that out. I'm going to go ahead and regroup. 14 minus 8 equals 6. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Now, even though this is a large number, you're doing that check. So we divide it, we multiply it, I subtract it, and doing my check. Is my difference less than my divisor? Yeah, so I'm good to go. I can bring down the next number. Now it's going to be 169, but I'm only at 90, so I can keep going. So I hope that you're using these numbers here to kind of guide you. You can double up and see where you're at. But I'm going to keep going in case you're still trying to learn the system. 6 times 8 equals 48. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So look at this one. If you're doubling up, double that up. See where you are at with this one. So if I look at the 18 times 3, now 18 times 6, I had my 54. So I'm going to bring my 54 up here. 54 plus 54, remember I doubled? 8 and 10. Get what I got here. So make sure that you look at your doubles. So what do you think I'm going to get? Let's do the 18 times 7, and then we'll go to the 18 times 8. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 1 equals 7 plus 5. Very good. 126. 18 times 8. Let's look at our 18 times 4. See my 72? What do we think that that will be? And I'm going to double my 72. That's 4. 7 plus 7 is 14. Do we get 144? Let's check it out. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 6 equals 14. And it does. Look at that. I can keep going. 18 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 7 equals, that's right, 16. So that's 162. If I do 18 times 10, well, look at this one, 18 times 5. What's 90 plus 90? That's right, 180. And that's going to be too big. So it looks like it's going to be 9. And I know that that is now 162. I'm going to subtract that out. This is 7. I'm going to bring up my decimal because I forgot to do it in the very beginning. I'm going to bring down my 2 now. I'm at 72. I do find my 72 here and know that there's 4 groups. So when you make your little mini multiplication chart, it's really easy when you're on your 18s, the rows of the 18. It's really easy to come back over and then just to look at that, right? So that's where I got my 4. So the answer to number 8 is 19 and 4/10. So we have 10 and 12 to do. Let's move over to that one. Oops, I took my sheet of paper. So for turn number 10, and a story problem that can go with this one. I see I did that again, and I really want to make sure that I don't confuse the ones. This is going to be about money, so I'm going to put it up into my quotient. If I have $10.80, I can say that I bought 90 items of something that cost me $10.80 total. What was the cost of each of those items? Something that we were practicing on today, right? So let's see how much those items were if I bought 90 of them. And then we can see, well, what could cost whatever it was. So I have 90. 90 times 1 equals 90. 90 times 2 equals what? Remember, we're doubling it up. 180. I don't know if we need to go any higher. 90 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. And then my 0. I think I'm going to stop there. I don't think I have to go any higher. We know that 90 cannot go into 1. I know that 90 cannot go into 10, but we have 108. So 90 can go into 108 one time. So 1 times 90 equals 90, and I'm going to subtract that out. 8 minus 0 equals 8. 10 minus 9 equals 1. I'm doing my checkpoint. Is 18 less than my divisor? Yes, it is, so I can move on. I'm going to bring down my 0, and I have 180. Well, look at that. I've already done the work. So it's 2. So I know that this is 180. I subtract that out, and it's 0. So this is going to be something that would cost 12 cents. I'm going to erase that little decimal. Kind of threw myself off just a tad. This kind of reminds me of maybe like little erasers. If they were selling them individually, they could be 12 cents each. I bought 90 of them, and it cost me $10.80. Right, let's look at number 12. All right, this kind of reminds me of the problem $32 or 32.4. I'm going to think of it as money if I want to. Then I bought 12 of those. How much was it each? So remember, that's your division part. But in this one, we're not dealing with money, but we can always think it. I have 32 and 4/10. So if you have your multiplication chart, you can simply just write down that 12 times 1 equals 12. But I don't have mine. Mine's around the corner. Or do I? I do. So excited. So I have my 12 times 1. 12 times 2 equals 24. 12 times 3 equals 36. 12 times 4 equals 48. 12 times 5 equals 60. I'm going to see if I need to go any further than that. So I can see that there's 12 groups, cannot go into 3, so it's a 0. 12 can go into 32. Oh, look, that breaks the bank. I can only go 2 times, and that gives me 24 when I multiply that out. Now I'm going to subtract. I can have it where it says 3 is a 2 and then becomes a 12. So 12 minus 4 equals 8. Forgot to bring up my decimal. I'm going to bring up my decimal and cross that out. My difference is less than my divisor, so I'm ready to bring it down. Now let's see how many more groups. Some of you probably already figured this one out already, right? So this is 72. 12 times 7 is 84. So this is going to be 7, and that's 84. Subtract that out. So 2.7 is my answer, 2 and 7/10. I apologize. Didn't mean to say 2.7. It's 2 and 7/10. All right, let's look at number 14. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can figure out the cost per muffin, right? And if I were to do that, muffins cost $35.40 for a dozen. A dozen means 12, or $18.72 for a half dozen, which is 6. So that's one way of doing it. I can divide out $35.40 divided by 12. This will get me the cost of each muffin. Then it's the $18.72 divided by half a dozen is 6, will get me the cost of each muffin. Okay, so we'll do it that way. There's also another way of doing it, that if $18.72 was for a half of dozen for 6, if I got another, because I'm trying to see if I bought a dozen of donuts. So if I did $18.72, and then this is for one half dozen, and I bought another half dozen, because that means that it's 6 and 6, right? So now, and I add those together, 2 plus 2 equals 4, 7 plus 7 equals 14, regroup. My decimal comes down, 8 plus 8 equals 16 plus 1 is 17, 1, 2, 3. So the cost of getting 2 half dozens is $37.44, whereas the cost of 1 dozen is $35.40. So this is the cost of 2 half dozen donuts or muffins. Okay, and then the cost of 1 dozen is equal to $35.40. Which one is the savings? Buying the 2 half dozens or buying the 1 dozen? Yeah, buying the 1 dozen. If you wanted to extend that, how much is your savings? So you're going to just subtract that out. And I'm actually saving $2.40. This is my savings by buying it by the dozen only. If you're wanting to do it by each muffin, you're more than welcome to. I can show you those. I'm looking at the time right now. Our video is at 28 minutes. I know we did that in one of the classes, in my class. And then one of my students, I have to ask permission if I can use her name on our video, on our public video. But she was the one that was saying, hey, if I just double this up, I can see the comparison. So that was really great. All right, I will go ahead and show you the division part. Let me come back to that one on showing you the division on that 14. But this isn't that one way of doing it, and then I'll come back and show you based on the time. Where's the other paper? Okay, so number 16. Okay, a florist sells a dozen roses, and a dozen, I'm going to put 12 on top of that, for $29.88. What's the cost of one rose? All right, so here's one way that you can do it. You can use your answers. So you can do it this way. What is going to equal to $29.88? If you wanted to see which one of these in the ones place will get to the 8. So you can multiply that out, or you can divide it. I have 12 goes into $29.88. This is for number 16. Okay, so I'm going to kind of guide myself with the answer choices that I have and bring in my decimal up. 12 cannot go into 2, but it can go into 29, and we know that it's going to be 2 times because my answers are all 2. See, it's right here. So 12 times 2 equals 24. I'm going to subtract that out. 9 minus 4 equals 5. Bring down my 8, and I start over. 12 goes into 58. Well, let's look at this. Either 4 times or 0. Well, I know it's not 0, so I can get rid of that one. So I'm going to do my 4. So 12 times 4 equals 48. And so when you know your multiplication, it's really easy, especially when it's up to the 12s. Really easy to get that. So that's 0 and 1. My 10 is still less than my divisor, so I can keep going and bringing down my 8. Okay, so far so good. Well, look, 12 can go into 108. Look at here, it says 0 times, so I can get rid of that one. So it's either going to be 1 or 9. Well, I know that I can put more than one group of 12 into that one, so I'm going to choose my 9. 9 times 2 equals 18. Regroup. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So this is my correct answer, and I can cross that out. See how easy that is when you use your answer choices to also divide. Let's look at number 18. Kira. Oh, way to go, Kira. Miss Martinez's class. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So makes 188 and 6/10 ounces of punch for a pool party. She has 23 guests attending the party. Wow, it's a big party. How many ounces of punch does she make for each guest? This is my total. Again, this is the part I'm going to divide. So let's take this over to 18. She has 23 guests. So I have to picture this for each person. I'm not drawing out 23 people. It'll take me forever. ... How many ounces will each person receive? So that's what I need to figure out. So she has a total of 188 and 6/10 ounces. Bring up my decimal. Okay, now I'm going to be multiplying by 23s. 23 cannot go into 1. It also cannot go into 18. I'm using my answer choices to kind of guide me through. So you see that? Go ahead and cover this part up right here so that you can see. All right, so it's either going to be 7, 8, or 9. So I'm going to multiply. Let me come down here. 23 times 7 is 21, 14, 15, 16. Oh, that's a strong possibility, right? What is 23 times 8? Or adding another group of 23. 8 times 3 is 24, 16, 17, 18. I need to get to 184. Up. Okay, the 7s are out. Looks like I'm in with the 8s, and that's as close as I'm going to get, right? 184. So I'm out with the 9s too. So do you see how you can easily eliminate? So I know that this is 8. 23 times 8 is 184. I'm going to subtract this out. 8 minus 4 equals 4. 4 is less than my divisor. And bring down my 6. You can tell it's been a long day, right? All right. Ooh, look at this one here. How many groups of 23 can get to 46? Is it 2 or 1? Yes! Ding, 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 ding. It is 2. So the answer is A, because 2 times 23 equals 46. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Way to go, team. See how much easier that is. All right, let's look at number 20, a multi-step problem. Dun, 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 dun. A lot of you kind of still get confused because it's a multi-step, but if you chunk it up, it's okay. All right, Isabel worked 20 hours last week and earned $145.80. Wow, way to go. I'm going to actually put Isabel. Okay, so this is, she worked. Remember, I have a part, 20 hours, and this is what she earned. This is the total, $145.80. Then you have Nan. Nan worked 15 hours. Okay, so it was 5 hours less and earned total of $112.50. How much more does Nan earn per hour? Okay, so now we have to find out how much they earn per hour. So let's look at Isabel. So this is, and I have 20, 145, and 80 cents. I'm going to bring up my decimal. And some of you have already figured out how to do this, and you're absolutely right. You can just kind of start multiplying out your groups of 20 till you get to that. You can do that, absolutely. So, but here I'm going to do, got my 20s. 20 times 1 equals 20. 20 times 2 equals 40. I'm skip counting by 20s. 20 times 3 equals 60, because it's 20, 40, 60. This is going to be 80 because 20 times 4 equals 80. 20 times 5 equals 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20 times 6. 2 times 6 equals 12, and my 1 0. 20 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14, and my 1 0, 140. 20 times 8 equals 2 times 8 equals 16 plus my 0, and I'm going to stop there. All right, so 20 cannot go into 1, and it also cannot go into 14, but it can go into 145 how many times? Yep, right there, 7 times. And I already know that that's equal to 140. So I'm going to subtract that out, bring down my 5. It is less than my divisor. Bring down my 8. I can have 20 does go into 58. It cannot go over. So the 3 breaks the bank. It's too big. So I need to come down to 2 groups, which is going to give me 40. I subtract that out, leaves me with 18. Is my 18 less than my divisor? Yes, it is. So I can keep going. 180. Oops, there we go. I have to add one more. 20 times 9 equals 180. So this will be 9, 180, and this is 0. So is earns $7.29 an hour. This means per hour. Okay, let's see how much Nan earns. And let me see if I had, where's the rest of my graph paper? Let's do Nan. So this is Nan. Nan is 112.50. And Nan only worked 15 hours. Okay, so I'm going to do my mini multiplication chart just for the 15. So 15 times 1 equals 15. Making sure 15 times 2 equals 30. 15 times 3 equals 45. I'm just adding another group of 15. I can just keep adding 15 to it if you want to. 15 times 4 equals, well, look, if I know that the 15 times 2 is 30, I double that up. That is 60. Very good. 15 times 5 equals 75. So here I had this one plus another group plus the doubled up, because 3 plus 2 is 5. That's 75. Look at that right there. 15 times 6 doubled up is 90. 15 times 7, it's 35. 105. Okay, so I have my 5 plus my 2 groups. 75 plus 30 equals 105. 15 times 8, my 4. It's 60, so I'm going to double that up. That equals to 120. Because if you had this one, 8 times 5 is 40. Regroup my 4. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 more is 12. 15 times 9, that's 45. And so 9 plus 4 is 135. Is this what 135? My 5 and my 4, that's 135, right? And then 15 times 10, it's 150. All right. So different ways of looking for those patterns. So let's get started. 15 cannot go into 0. It cannot go into 11, but it can go into 112 how many times? Closest, this breaks the bank, so the closest is going to be 7 groups, and it's 105. So do you see how much easier it is when you make your mini multiplication chart? So I'm going to subtract that out. I just took my decimal, brought it into my quotient. So how far am I away? This becomes a 0, regroup. You can also, how many jumps would you need to get to 112? So 12 minus 5 equals what? Can't hear you. So is it going to be 7? Very good, 7 it is. So I'm going to bring down, this is still, let's lessen, bring down my 5. Can I, oh, look, I have a 75. So this is 5, makes it 75, 0, remember it's right here. And now I'm going to bring down my other 0. Well, 15 can go into 0 0 times, because 0 times 15 is 0. And subtract out 0 is 0. All right, so Nan earns $7.50. Wow. He earns more than Isabel. That's interesting, right? Okay, so here I have Nan, $7. My pen is about ready to say I'm done. 50 cents Isabel earns $7.29. So what is my difference? I'm going to need to regroup. And my difference, remember, when I'm comparing two numbers and I need to find out what that difference is, it's going to be subtraction. So I'm going to regroup my 5. This becomes a 4. Bring it to my 110 over to my 0, or to the ones place. Now it's 10 minus 9 equals 1. 4 minus 2 equals 2. Bring down my decimal. So the difference is 21 cents. And the answer is D. Wow, that one. And again, it's not that it takes, that it's longer. That it's more complex. It just takes longer to do. Guys, I am recommending, though, to please, 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 please create yourself a mini multiplication chart when you're dealing with the double numbers. It's also helpful if you're at the single numbers, if you're still not sure. Tomorrow you do have your quiz. It's mostly on your the graph designs. So it's multiplying using a pictorial model and dividing using a pictorial model. And then it's on your comparing decimals, ordering decimals, rounding decimals, expanded notation, kind of that review tied in. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know tomorrow. We'll do a quick review and then get started on your test. And it's a quiz, it's a daily, it's a making sure that you're still keeping what you've learned in your brain and you'll have it all together. Thanks again. Have a great evening.